just sit back and relax. It's been a gorgeous day around the island so far this afternoon. I'll be making a few calls to the tower for our takeoff clearances, and then I'll get right back with you. And here we go. If we have any golfers on board this afternoon, coming up directly below us now are the two 18-hole Jack Nicklaus designed golf courses belonging to the Kauai Lagoons Resort. These tall buildings coming up off the right side of the aircraft are all part of the Kauai Marriott Resort. And the swimming pool at the Marriott is the largest swimming pool in the state of Hawaii. Shaped like a flower, it's a little over an acre in size. Up ahead of us here, we have a sort of a low place in the Hyatt mountain range. We're going to be able to peek through this gap now and on into the Kipukai Cattle Ranch. The ranch looks familiar. You might have seen the movie Islands in the Stream, starring George C. Scott. And just inside of Shipwreck Beach are the green tile roofs of the Hyatt Regency Resort. A little bit earlier in our trip, and after the fire goes out, they come through the field with a special bulldozer, bulldoze the stalks into rows, load them onto a semi-truck, and then haul them off to the nearest sugar refinery for processing into a raw sugar or a molasses state. And then from here on the islands, the raw sugar is shipped by boat to the west coast of the mainland for further processing into the white stuff that we're more familiar with, SCNH sugar. Largest man-made body of water on the island, Waialua Reservoir. This is a fun place to go bass fishing. And to our left over here, there's a long straight line of trees leading on up to the highway, and this is what's known as the tree tunnel. The swamp eucalyptus trees down there on each side of the road are between 80 and 120 feet tall. The tree tunnel road leads up here from the old sugar plantation town of Koloa and the sunny beaches down at Poipu. Just up ahead of us now is Hanapepe Valley. This valley was the site of fierce battles between ancient Hawaiian tribes back before the arrival of the European explorers to this island. And it's here where we'll begin to see just a few of the many waterfalls we'll be taking a look at on our trip around the island this afternoon. Falls are fed by a half a dozen cascades called the Kahili Falls. Appearing just up ahead off the right side of the aircraft, these falls were also featured during those opening helicopter flight sequences in Jurassic Park. Horizontal lines that are visible running across the walls of Waimea Canyon are representative of each individual eruption of ash and flow of lava from from the shield volcano that originally formed Kauai over 5.5 million years ago. This is where the road ends around the southwestern side of the island. From here on north for about the next 21 miles lies the Napali Coast. The words Napali in English simply mean the cliffs, and many of the cliffs we'll see along this rugged coast rise abruptly from sea level to more than 3,000 feet. Most of these valleys along Napali were at one time populated by Hawaiian tribes. Polynesians sailed here from the area around the Marquesas and Tahiti Islands in the South Pacific sometime between 800 and 2,000 years ago. And Hawaiians remained in some of these valleys up until just less than a century ago. Of jagged spires in the coast. as many as 50 boats anchored to our left up here in horseshoe-shaped Hanapepe Bay. We'll be entering Hanapepe Valley next and following this valley south on the north shore on in towards the interior of the island and eventually ending up at one of the wettest spots on Earth, Mount Waialeale. Above the right side of the aircraft now at 5,148 feet above sea level lies the summit of Mount Waialeale. Waialeale's peak is shrouded in clouds about 340 days out of the year. It's one of the factors influencing its reputation as the wettest spot on Earth, with an average annual rainfall at the summit of 465 inches, or nearly 40 feet of rain each year. The ancient Hawaiians considered Waialeale sacred. They believed their gods met up on the summit of the mountain and drew these clouds in around them as they decided the fate of the mortals on the island below. Below us, what remains of the eroded floor of the crater rests at an elevation of 1,500 feet above sea level, and the walls of the crater rise another half-mile yet above that. Scenic set of waterfalls coming into view. You might recognize these as being the Fantasy Island Falls that were shown at the beginning and end of each episode of the old television series Fantasy Island. Well, we call these the Waialua Falls. Means that the airport's a few miles further ahead here, and I'll be making some calls for our landing clearances over the next few minutes. But before I do, I'd like to say mahalo for flying with WellSpar's helicopters this afternoon. I sure hope y'all enjoyed our tour of the Garden Isle, and you have a great time the rest of your stay here on Kauai. Thanks again, everybody.